Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 100 of the Division Z podcast. My name is Jason.
And I am K Cosmic.
My friend, 100 episodes of this crazy little thing that we call the Division Z podcast. It feels kind of weird that we hit the triple digits, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's because I remember we were at like 10 episodes and and how we were saying, when we get to 100, that's gonna be weird. And like, fuck,
a little bit.
We're here.
We're here, man. We made it. We made it to 100 episodes. Today we're just gonna be having more of a chill kind of podcast episode. There is news to talk about in the Call of Duty world, like the Terminator event in Warzone, some Modern Warfare 2 news, things like that. We'll get to all that later, but we want to start off today's episode of just, reflecting on the past 100 episodes of Division Z and, just kind of look back at where we came from and, just reminisce a little bit. We're gonna hit the nostalgia button today and go back in time a little bit here. But man, starting at the beginning with, what the hell? Episode 1, man. There was just an experiment.
Yeah, I sometimes go back and watch the first episode, and I hear the intro, and it's pretty much the exact same if I remember correctly. Like the whole, my name is Jason, I am K Cosmic. Like that.
It's a staple, man. It's like we found something that works, right?
Yeah.
You just keep doing it.
So we've done that ever since. And I remember when it first started, I think there was so much prep work on getting the backgrounds done because it was like the Broken Earth.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, did we have the logo at the time? I think we had the logo.
Yeah, we have had this logo. Wait, where is it? Since right here. We've had this logo right here since the start. And it's an awesome looking logo. I love I just love the fire circle. It gives a little bit of animation to the screen. You're not just watching us move around and whatever. Like there's a little bit of character to the screen, and that was the whole reason why I made it to look like that, so that it's not like you're looking at a PNG. You're looking at like something moving. So, and then of course, we changed our backgrounds multiple times, and by multiple times, only a couple times, from Broken Earth.
We had Dark
now
Ether.
We're in the Dark Ether. We're in the Cold War Dark Ether, and then when we talk about Vanguard and things like that, we go over to the Vanguard Dark Ether.
We changed it to the Vanguard Dark Ether.
Yeah,
so we've done that like twice, I think, so far.
We've done it more than twice.
Fair enough. I guess with Vanguard, we just haven't really we've talked about it. But at the same time, we haven't really talked about it because we just pretty much shit in the game.
We talk about the same things when it comes to Vanguard, though, a lot of the time.
Yeah,
but
we talk about all the issues in that, and there's not really much more other than that. Don't get me wrong. When things were good, we gave it like Shino Numa and stuff. We said that it was good for what it is. But
but then the game itself is unstable, and then it's just unfortunate.
Because I think with it, right, like. Since zombies is our main thing, and I know we are currently trying to move to other stuff as well. So we're zombies and this, but zombies is our main staple,
right?
And that's kind of what's tied to it. And when it doesn't do as well, it does reflect because no one cares, it's no one's fault though. No one cares about zombies when it's completely dead.
That's the thing.
It's a community thing, right? And it's weird because I've not seen this in any other community ever. Even with games that are pretty, don't get updates constantly. But for zombies, when the whole mindset is negative and people just don't want to play the game, right? Then obviously, there's no interest in it.
Well, that's just because, at the end of the day, we are a niche community, because you have the overall Call of Duty community. And everyone plays everything in Call of Duty. Everyone plays multiplayer and Warzone and zombies too, But, zombies being a third of Call of Duty, or not even a third at this point, because most of the effort is going into Warzone, and you have more effort being put into other aspects of Call of Duty right now. So zombies being that smaller percent, it's kind of rough sometimes, but. I'm glad when it comes to Division Z that we are trying, and we have done something different. And you know, with a podcast, I think a lot of people might think, oh, there's really only so much you can do. But I'm glad that we were able to find a way to do things a little bit differently than what other people have done with a podcast, like by itself. Like, you know, I'm insanely proud of what we've been able to accomplish with, you know, multiple veterans charity events. We've had very special guests come on this podcast that, you know, we didn't think we'd be, you know, doing so soon, to be honest.
That's true. I remember back, and I think it was like episode 15, maybe. We had Rizzo on, and
I think it was 16, somewhere 16, around there. Yeah,
and that was like pretty. I don't know, because obviously, well, for me personally, I hadn't met anyone that was quite big in the community at the time, so it was quite cool having someone and getting to hear their thoughts and opinions, like, well, 2-to-1 sort of thing.
Right.
So that was like cool. And then after that, it just kind of spiraled the guests, didn't it? We got like guest after guest.
Yeah, that was the start of the whole, like, we had like 6 episodes in a row with guests. It was like Turbo was like right after JR Rizzo, and then you had other people, other creators in the community follow suit, like, you know, Jack, when he was still making zombies content. Other
COD
people,
Zombie HQ as well at some point.
COD Zombies HQ,
twice,
man.
Actually. He came on twice. Yeah,
we had him on twice. I mean, that was cool. I mean, that was really cool. And I love how that all started too, where it was like Turbo said, "Jason, you sound a lot like COD Zombies HQ," and then from there it just was it you who put the clip? Someone put the clip of it on Twitter, and then COD Zombies HQ replied to it, and then I was like, let me send him a message. Let me just say, you know, hi, what's up? You want to come on the show? And he did, and then we got him on twice, so that was fun. You know, I should talk to him again. You know, see what he's up to, man. He's a chill dude. Let's see. I mean, Turbo's another great guest that we've had on multiple times.
Been on a few times, and in the charity events as well.
Yeah, back when you dyed your hair blue for
remember that
Wounded Warrior.
I remember well, when we did that as well, we were expecting like ninja blue, and then when I came out,
it was like super dark.
It was like a dark, like, how do I describe it? Like just a dark blue, not like a ninja. And the packaging though, it was like a light blue. So maybe my hair was too dark to start off with, but the whole process of getting it bleached and stuff, it was already bleached, so it was like blonde. And then after it, I went through a phase of having this like really ugly like not saying that ginger hair is ugly, right? But like a gingery blonde with blue in it,
right?
And
I remember
it looked like awful, and I didn't care for, right? Like I went up, I didn't care, right? You know,
I mean, man,
you know what I mean. But I understood it looked terrible. But if anyone made fun of it,
a little gimmick that we had, I guess, you know.
But no, that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it was I mean, the charity events have also been really fun, and that's another thing that I'm proud of when it comes to what we've been able to accomplish, you know, something bigger than ourselves. I think it's very important in life to, you know, be of service in the way of that you're contributing something bigger than yourself, and you are part of something that makes a difference. And if, you know, if I can use my platform and Cosmic can use his platform, we come together to make something happen and to help people, or to, you know, give people value, or to, you know, literally change people's lives by, you know, fundraising for veterans. It's, you know, it's a humbling experience, and it means a lot to us. And you know, it's something that I'm insanely proud of us for. And of course, I wouldn't mind doing more in the future.
No, absolutely.
But how many? Let's see. We've done about like three stack up, and like 2 or 3 like Wounded Warrior ones.
Yeah.
So
now,
that was
I want
pretty
to
cool.
know. Do you remember the first episode and all the hurdles we had to jump through in the technical side?
Dude, I remember when like we had no idea how to set up any of this stuff, because we were like, well, you live in another country, and I don't know how to like put your thing on the screen, and like I don't know how to do this.
I remember half an hour before the actual event, for once your Wi-Fi started cutting out randomly.
Oh no, dude, my Wi-Fi back then was shit.
Yeah, right.
It was terrible.
And then you see when we went live and we started, smooth. It was all fine from there.
Yeah.
But it like disconnected like 2 times before we went live.
Yeah.
And like we were both like, "Oh no, is it gonna disconnect? Please don't disconnect." Because that's when we had one of the veterans on. Yeah. We're like, "Oh, if that disconnects halfway through there, that's just like not great." But it didn't, thankfully. And that live stream, as far as things go, because we had like how many people on? We had like 5-6 people on to play like zombies with us. And
that was an interesting one.
That was so like again for the first time. I think we did so well with that. Like transitioning from one thing to another, again, especially because it was our first time. To be honest,
it was hectic, but it was fun, man.
Yeah, we haven't really done one like that since, and I think like, I think just because there's so much that can maybe go wrong in it in terms of technicality and stuff.
Well, you know that's the thing, right? Like, I think the main reason why is just because we wanted to focus more so on like the charity itself and like. Yeah, having like the special guests come on the charity event is like awesome, and having people come out and support and people watching and whatever, right? But I feel like it was more to more highlight the hey guys, check out this charity rather than like hey guys, check out this person. Look how cool we are because we have people on our thing, right? So it's more focused on the charity, and that's when I started to implement the commercials too in between each of the games that we would do to really highlight what we were doing. So yeah, I mean just a little more focus on that, but I would not mind doing extra guests coming on and doing something. We'll have to figure something out, some sort of special event for something. Whether it be online or fuck man, if we can get an in-person event going, I mean
that would be cool.
That'd be pretty great.
I think like once zombies is back in like a good state again, which I'll just because
bro, it doesn't even have to be zombies at this point, right? Like with everything going on right now, it could just be like a Warzone thing or like let's play some gun game or like a prop hunt or something fun and let's have fundraising money too with people. I think when it comes to where we are right now, and I think you would agree with me when I say this, when it comes to content, when it comes to Division Z, I think it's about time that, of course, zombies is our staple, like you were saying earlier, but it's about time that we talk about more things and we talk about, and like we already do, right? And that's the thing, right?
That's why I find like
it's going to be easier for us to actually talk about other things because we've already been slowly like doing that. We talk about other games, we talk about pop culture sometimes, and like
if we even look at like the past few episodes, right? Like Modern Warfare Beta, we talked about that. We talked about Rebirth of the Dead, which I know is technically zombies, but still Warzone, right?
Zombies and Warzone. Hey, it works both ways.
And then we have like some developer talk that we talked about with Trek employees joining Deviation Games, which kind of fits in zombies, but it's not really. It's different.
Well, no, that's not zombies at all because it's Deviation Games. But they do have the zombies community behind them, so it's like it's like a pseudo topic.
Yeah. So I think after like we're going into like the next 100 episodes, I think. Not that we'll revamp the podcast because what fixed what isn't broken, right? But like, I think definitely we'll be looking at more of a variety of topics, all in the gaming space, right?
Yeah,
and other things, but
gaming and like more entertainment things. I definitely want to like, if it's possible, right? If it's possible, I want to like push the envelope a little bit of what like a podcast can do.
Yeah,
and it's like we can sit here and talk about things and we can chit chat back and forth, but like what else can we do? What else can we do with sitting down and chit chatting back and forth? And what kind of special events can we put on? What kind of community focused fun can we have with charity events and raising money for a good cause or community events. I definitely want to figure out how to do something, more things like that, if it's possible. That's the thing.
Yeah,
you never know until you try, and so I think it'd be worth looking into trying stuff like that. Let us know in the comments, by the way, if you guys would love to see more like community things and more community events, or any ideas from the community too. Like, we're always open to suggestions. I mean, part of being a content creator is like reading comments every day and like listening to feedback and learning how to get better. So if there's like feedback that you guys have had from the past 100 episodes of Division Z, have at it in the comments. Be respectful, of course. We don't want those weirdos in the chat being like, well, you guys should just quit because you're suck. And that's not an actual comment.
No.
Like, have a tangible response, or have a cohesive constructive criticism response. You know what I mean? But
I mean, like,
yeah, man.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of like the community tournament route, and we could have prizes and stuff, and it could be like a 2 weekly thing if possible, and we can incorporate that idea into like the podcast as well. And like, I think we could do like stuff like that.
For sure.
Because then there's like the element of competition, and I quite like competition and all that, and I think we're both into like watching our like, well, maybe more so you than me, but like esports and stuff. Like, I like watching Valorant, for example, and I wouldn't mind like having a variety of games where we just got people like in the community and out of the community if they wanted to come on and take part in the tournament. And maybe who knows, maybe we'll have our charity events, right? And then we could do ones where it's for like maybe money if everyone puts forward like I don't know, like $5, and then the winner gets it all. Then again, dealing with money and stuff, that takes a bit more like, not pressure or anything, but then there's a bit more responsibility there to make sure it goes 100% smoothly.
Yeah, I mean that's how it is.
So,
but yeah, there's definitely a lot of ideas there. I like what you're talking about with like community tournaments. Definitely have to think about that, chat, everybody watching. I still have a bad habit of saying chat even though we're recording now, which, by the way, that was another thing we used to do, was live stream the episodes of Division Z, which was cool. I think it
was good. It was good in the sense that like we could get the community to interact mid-episode, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like we could schedule the podcast as a premiere, and like it would do like the same thing. I know it wouldn't be like we're not reading your comments like live, right? But
I think that is the only reason like we should do it live, is reading comments. There's not really another reason for us to do something live unless some news breaks, but there's never been a time where we recorded an episode, a mid-episode, there's been something. Even if something did break, we could, we still talk about it if possible. Right. Actually, I think there's one time we recorded an episode and the next day something happened and we had to redo it.
Right, I remember. It was like, it was big news too.
Yeah, so we had to like redo it because then the way it worked out is we recorded on the Saturday, I think, or the Friday. The news came out on Saturday or Sunday even.
Something like
and
that.
Then the episodes obviously go up on the Sunday now. That's what we try and get episodes out for.
Yeah.
And then if we release that episode, then we'd have to wait a whole week to talk about that news. That's one thing with having a set date, right? I like having the set date, and I think it's good because it keeps us on a track, like a schedule, right? So we're not like messing stuff about. But at the same time, something drops on Sunday for some reason, and that episode comes out, and we don't talk about it, and that's like a week of like. But that's just how it is. That's just
how it is a lot of the times, man. I mean,
and there's nothing you can really do to like avoid that.
We've been Sundays forever, and I think it's good that we set that precedent, because it's like a news show where it's like your favorite TV show. Oh, it comes on at this time, and like tune in, everybody, right?
Yeah.
So I like that we were able to maintain a certain level of consistency with it. Obviously, there have been exceptions with like technical difficulties or like certain scheduling things don't work out. Sometimes we've skipped weeks, which, hey, you know what? Sometimes that has actually helped us and give us like more to talk about in the episode, funny enough. But yeah, with the whole live streaming the episodes thing, it was fun. It was fun to do. I just thought that it was kind of not difficult, but because the internet back then, my internet was really bad back
even
then.
me, the
I
thing about
always
me, right? Like I
yeah.
had a 4G router, and that was my main source of internet. Like
Mm-hmm.
nowadays it might be different, right? But I also think there's I don't know. I think the podcasts are more polished and well done when they're not live. And I mean by that is like
Right.
you don't have to try so hard to sync in the intro and stuff for the podcast, and then we go live, and then if there are issues and something happens during a live stream, you can't cut that out, or you can, but I know you can do it for the YouTube.
You can, but like when you're live doing it, it's kind of awkward. And
yeah, right. And even when you come back from it, like you can tell that something's gonna happen. So
yeah,
no, I think in general the video format is better for recording even. But
and it helps us schedule episodes too. I mean, I think a lot of people out there might not realize that there's a lot of scheduling that goes into this podcast.
Yeah,
and like aligning everyone's schedules, and especially for guests, man. Like we try to be super punctual for guests, and we're very, how do I put it? I mean, yeah, we're punctual, but we're very like straight to the point with it. Where it's like, okay, here are like time slots, and like here's what we can figure out, and does this work for you? And we'd like to have you on at this time, and if that doesn't work, we'll schedule you for another episode. Like we try to like make it as organized as possible in that kind of like sense. And scheduling guests is part of it's fun for me, but the other part of it is like, shit, we can't get them on this week. Damn it. Okay, next week, I guess. Shit. Yeah. Now we can't get them. You know what? It's like a part of it is like
schedules can conflict, and then if someone cancels. I mean, we've had a few times where people cancel last minute, and like, and then this would happen when sometimes when episodes were live as well, and people would cancel last minute for whatever reason, right? And it's like, we have the title, we have the thumbnail, we have all this done, so now we have to redo it.
And that's what happens, man. Like to me, it all boils down to like I'm just excited to get guests on, so it's like whenever it's like, I'm sorry, I can't come on. It's like, damn, I want to have I want to have a good episode with you. It's like, I look forward to recording and just shooting the shit sometimes, and like having fun with a guest. And as formal as we like to be with how we interact, we want to be chill on the podcast too. We want to have that like blend of professionalism and like being chill at the same time, where it's like business casual kind of a thing.
Yeah, because we have fun here. We talk about Dead of the Night. We do our own thing.
Yeah, we talk about Die Rise, of course.
We talk about Die Rise and stuff like because we with the zombie community, right? We have a pretty like similar sense of humor. Like transit bad, right? Black Ops 4 HUD bad, right? And it's if we find something funny related to zombies, we know someone else is probably going to find it funny. If you're truly like invested into zombies to some extent, at least, right? So it's always great to joke about and stuff, but at the same time, we're having guests on. I think it adds in a certain like flair as well, because most of the time it's just me and you, right? So we kind of know exactly what we're like, in terms of personality based, right? And I think we're actually quite similar in a lot of ways as well. But I think that helps. But we also both have different opinions that are like,
of course.
Opposite. For example, I think Alpha Omega is complete dog shit. You think it's good, so that's one. It's one not example.
Bad.
It is. Nuketown Black Ops 2 superior map.
But I mean, the thing is, right? That's the thing with guests. It does add that extra element of getting a different opinion and getting this extra point of view on a particular topic. That's why like some of my favorite, and I gotta say probably my favorite moments of Division Z are like the industry guests. And like Dave Boat, the voice actor of Stuhlinger, Kaiser Johnson, the voice actor of Von List in Vanguard Zombies, the ZWC guys, Jose and all of those guys that are behind the scenes there. Like having the like industry guests that are in the gaming world that are actors or event organizers or anything like that. It's fun to talk to them about the craft and talk to them about the industry, talk to them about what they've experienced and how they think about certain things.
Yeah,
and it's those are some of my favorite moments there, because it's not very often sometimes that like people get the opportunity to know what some of these people think. And that's the whole thing I was saying earlier about like adding value and like adding something that you guys at home can take away from an episode of the podcast, or like from my content on my personal channel. Like if we're in the position to do that, you know, it's a good episode for people to take something away, like have a different, like, you know, everybody knows, you know, what Zombies is, and they can know the ins and outs of the game, but like, what about the other things that go into the game, like the voice acting of the game? That's why like, also as a voice actor, I have some bias behind it too, right? But it's like, you know, listening to Dave Boat and Kaiser Johnson share their stories about what they did in the booth and how they came up with the characters and things like that, I think it adds such a unique take that I'm glad we are able to capture and give to you guys, and like show you guys this different side of Zombies and the different side of Call of Duty. And they're just so much fun to do.
I think one of my favorite moments to like, I like it when I learn something new, like you're saying, right? When we see something fit from the inside. I quite like it when we had Dave Boat on, right? We were talking about Blood of the Dead, right? And we're talking about some of the voice lines in that. And it's when Stillinger says, isn't that the whole like interaction, oh, now I'm in your head? Isn't that a kick in the dick? Right?
Yeah.
And he says that was actually improvised, and they let them keep it in. And like little things like that, whenever I hear that line now, I'm like, I wasn't supposed to be there originally.
yeah, you know. There you go.
So, but the thing is, that's one of my favorite lines in like Blood as well, because it's just it just very comedically well done, right? I know Zombies in general, you know, when the humor is there, it's pretty funny. Like when you think of like Ultimus and stuff, the humor is pretty good. But even when you hear that things sometimes aren't scripted, it's just like people bouncing off each other, or just people like trying something and it works. That's also quite cool. I think that's one of my favorite memories in terms of like when we have voice actors on that on.
Yeah.
So, but
100%, man. The special, like those are like the special episodes, right?
Yeah, those are like our holiday specials. You know, like your
exactly,
special,
yeah,
Halloween special. Yeah,
exactly,
man. Like,
man.
And I think something we've definitely like experimented with a lot throughout the podcast is getting a good thumbnail, right? Because I think we used to try everything like something new every week, right? And it was so hard to get something that was recognizable and like look good. And I think it took us a while to find something that we truly like. But
can I say real quick, finding like the perfect thumbnail formula, or like crafting the perfect thumbnail for the YouTube algorithm, like angers me. Not like angers me in like the like I'm gonna punch something anger, right? It's just annoying to me, where it's like you could have this like really good video and like this really well crafted like it doesn't even have to be like a podcast. It could be like a tutorial video. It could be a let's play. It could be a history video, like not even like video game related. It could be history or like entertainment or like movies or something like that. You could have this like really, really good video, but because your thumbnail doesn't have a certain color in it, or it doesn't have a certain like flair to it, you know, it's not going to get as many views. And it's like, I get it. Clickability is like really, really important. But like, you know, the title of the video should not matter as much either, but then it does too. And it's like,
Matt,
the algorithms are just ridiculous.
Yeah. It's such a head fuck, right? Because with YouTube and that, like in general, tags, title, thumbnail, all of that, it can depend on your video does really well or not, right? And then because that's like the selling point in something. That's you getting someone into your store. And it's like, if you can do that, then if your content's good, then that's your golden, right? But with thumbnails, I've always struggled with them because I always want to improve them and make them look better. I think only now am I quite happy with certain styles of thumbnails that I do. Like I'm quite you know what I find? It's the simplest thumbnails that I like the most. It's the thumbnails that take no effort to make. Well, in terms of a podcast,
no effort
even. Not no effort, right? But like in terms of the podcast, right? I think the thumbnail, like, I think the formula we have is good because we talk about a lot of topics, right? So that's why we have the splitting
Yeah, I
podcast.
like
We
the
have
split screen pod.
so
Yeah.
we can talk about like we can put our topics there so people can get an idea what we're going to talk about. But for myself personally, what I found that I like to do now with my own thumbnails, so I'm playing a game or talking about gaming or something, right? Is have my basic thumbnail, right? Have my backdrop because I always insert something into it to make it look a bit more like exciting.
Yeah.
Do my filters and that. Put the sharpness up, add some like cinematic, like coloring to it as well. Then I have my main thing that I bring attention to, right? So let's say I have a lot of my thumbnails, like any zombie YouTuber has a ray gun in it, right? So I have that at the front, holding it like that, right? Then I'll put the saturation up on that bad boy. I might put a line around it if I'm feeling like I want that there.
Oh, dude, if you're feeling dangerous, yeah, you put the outline,
right? Yeah, right. And then I might add text, but I find now that adding text and just like make it look messy. And why? Because that's the thing. And this is something else. Like I wish I learned sooner as well. Your thumbnail and title work together. So there's no reason to have, your title, which will say how to get to round 100, then your thumbnail that has how to get to round 100.
Well, here's the thing with me with like, when it comes to I totally agree on like a base level.
Yeah.
My only thing is like because the thumbnail's like the first thing people will look at.
Yeah.
I oftentimes like to have words in my thumbnail.
That's true because it can work that way as well. Yeah, 100%.
So that's what I kind of do with my thumbnails. Like when I do a tutorial or something, it's like for example, the Scythe just came out in Cold War. It's like Scythe tutorial, and it's like, oh, cool, I get to know how to do that. And then it's like the first thing people look at when it comes to a video. But I totally agree. Yeah. Like you shouldn't have to put words in your thumbnails because the title should work with you. But then, like
there is that happens, right? And to be fair, I have done it before. I do it for a lot of my review channel, right? For thumbnails because I think certain thumbnail styles don't require text. I'm gonna reword it. Like I do think there's times where having like text there can be useful.
True.
And I guess I know I use the example getting to around 100. I guess in more for the tutorial sense, it makes sense, right? Because with a tutorial, someone's searching that up, and if the first thing they see is something with the title "How to get the Scythe," for example, then they're obviously gonna be more inclined to click that. It's the same thing with like video length and that as well. Like if someone's search-based content, people are gonna look at a few things, right? They're gonna look at how many views does it have, how long is it, because if one's 10 minutes and one's 2 minutes. Then there can be a bit of
the 2-minute one because they don't want to watch something for 10 minutes.
Because they know it's been milked, right? Right. Well, not so much milk, but you know what I mean. They want to get it fast.
Yeah, they'll think it's more dragged out.
In fact, it'll probably be more in depth, and it'll probably be better for you to watch that because you might get it faster just by watching that video, right? And then they go in the video, and then they look at the likes to view ratio. There's no more dislikes. That's what people do now. They look at the likes to views, and this is more of like computer tutorials. I find is that. If a video has like 10,000 views and 100 likes, run away from it. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Okay,
dude. Because a lot of these computer tutorials out there too are just like.
I love it. I love it when I'm trying to fix my mic or something, and then it's a video on how to fix your mic, and then you go onto the video, and then it's like the automated voice, or like they don't use the mic, and it has like that generic like 2012 like the like generic background music, the non-copyright, and it's like, and that has like 1 million views. I'm like, man, I'm in the wrong market.
Or like, they'll be like, all right, guys, I'll show you how to fix your microphone. What you want to do is like go into your back-end computer settings and hack your own computer and like do all these weird, complicated technical things. And it's like, I don't care. I must be straight up when it comes to like tutorials and things like that. I don't care. Like, show me how to fix the problem that I'm having. Like, not go into the back end of my computer and be like, well, you have to pull up the this thing and type in the and then go to your like driver this and your Windows operating. Like, like who cares? Like, it just seems like such a elaborate thing to do where it's like, I just want my microphone to work, or I just want my mouse to work, or like just some dumb shit. And that's a pet peeve of mine where it's like, okay, guys, you're gonna have to go into all of these crazy settings and like
alter everything,
alter the entire thing. And here's the thing, a lot of people don't know what they're doing either on the computer, so they'll like fuck something up too.
It's like, you go into, when someone starts going into their command prompt, like the little black box thing you can have, that's like, because it's the easiest way to get access to stuff and do it quickly, and sometimes you have to do it. But like, if I was not good with computers, I'd be scared to do that. I feel like I'm hacking my motherboard, I'm hacking the mainframe.
That's
like,
the thing.
That it's scary, right? But like, no, I think if you want to become rich, do a tutorial channel with computers, because you don't need anything. Yeah. If you can get your monetization done, like if you can get to your that'd be the hardest part about it. Getting your watch time wouldn't be bad. It'd be getting your subscribers would be the hard part. Because like I've never subscribed to a channel because of their like screen recorded video tips and like stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, like Linus Tech Tips. That's different because they do a lot of like IRL stuff with computers and that, and like challenges, which is fun to watch. But I don't know. I don't see the point in subscribing to someone because they do them videos.
I mean, hey, if you're interested in things like that,
I guess so.
Might as well.
The only reason I would do that is so that I could copy their videos on the line if I had this channel similar. And that's me being god honest. If I was in that market and someone posted a cool video about something, I would watch it and I just redo it because I know I could do it better. because
there you go. Thing, right? If you can add extra value.
Open market, right? If I subscribe to someone and their videos have like the text to speech, right?
Yeah.
And I can do the exact same video but use my voice, I know people are going to trust me more because I'm actually talking. So that's one thing, right? But then some people don't talk on YouTube for certain reasons. Some people aren't confident with it. Some people aren't. There's many factors to it, right?
Yeah, so, and that's the thing that I like when I make my tutorial videos for Call of Duty. I always try to get as much information in a short amount of time as possible. Like, not make like a short video because, like, those, like, I don't know. To me, if the video is like under a minute and it's like, this is how you do this, and it's like you're missing out on so much extra information that you can have. But at the same time, I know that people also want to get things done quickly. And so my tutorials end up being anywhere between like 2 to 4 minutes when it comes to like a weapon unlock, or back in Black Ops Cold War when I made operator mission videos, and it was like 5 to 6 minutes long, and like it's not like that's a short video. I still think that's a short video. And I know a lot of people, because shorts and TikTok and everything like that has just sucked everyone's attention spans. That 5 or 6 minutes is like forever now. But I still consider that a short video. And it's, I want to just pack the information in a concise manner. I think there's a difference between being quick and being concise. And if you're able to funnel in so much information in a concise way that it's efficiently putting out the information, then the length of the video won't matter as much, because you're actually adding value in that short amount of time. If you're making a video to be short, literally just to be short, and be like, haha, I've got a quick tutorial and this is what's gonna, everyone's gonna click on mine because it's short. It's like, well, maybe they might, but what are they gonna learn from you? If you're just gonna if that's your whole goal, is to be like, I'm gonna make this short video and it's gonna be, it's gonna be 50 seconds long, and I don't know, you're just gonna miss a lot of context. You're gonna miss a lot of extra stuff than if you were to make just a slightly longer video, like 2 minutes. So that's what I think about that. But yeah, man, in quite the contrast to that, actually, with these podcast episodes being about an hour long, I like that we've been able to have these podcast episodes be around that hour mark. Because I think that's a good sweet spot for a podcast, in my opinion.
Yeah, an hour or so. Because now we're not scratching out stuff. Yeah. But then we're also giving ourselves enough time to like talk about everything. Right. Because I don't know, some podcasts, I think an hour to an hour and a half is like the sweet spot, right? Yeah. But when a podcast is over like 2 hours, and don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with it. It's like, I find it so hard to watch it in like one, not because necessarily, some people will watch the podcast bit here and there, right? But like, I always find when something is over 2 hours or so, I'll always end up missing something by it, because by the time I finish listening to it, the next episode will be out. because
I don't. You. Like, you want to watch it in segments.
Yeah, not even that. It's like, maybe I'll watch a bit here and there, but I have to go do something, right? Then I forget about it. And then I see the thumbnail, like, oh, I need to watch this again. I need to watch like the part I missed, and then so I think an hour to hour and a half is like a good spot for a podcast. So
for sure. So I'm definitely happy that we've been able to do that. Like keep the consistent like time. Now we've had longer episodes, and especially like the charity events go on for like 5 hours, right? But that's like a charity event. That's like different.
It's different, because there's more going on and stuff. So,
but like, the episodes have been a good length. The guests that we've had on, I mean, I just gotta say, huge shout out to all the guests that we've had on this show. Thank you so much for coming on the show and having some fun with us, talking about gaming, talking about Call of Duty Zombies.
Yes.
We've had so many guests on throughout the last 100 episodes, and some big guests, some smaller creators, industry guests like we talked about earlier, all walks of life, because this is a big community and we want to get on people that we think are going to contribute something to a conversation that we like to have, and debates that we have, and we like when the value, it's like we love hearing that extra opinion. We love hearing the extra viewpoint, like I was saying earlier, not to repeat myself, but special thank you to all the guests that came on the show, and we're just gonna have more guests on in the future, and it's gonna, that roster of guests is gonna grow and grow, and I'm excited to see what other kind of guests we can get on, and what other kind of conversations we can have about the gaming world. That's gonna be very, very exciting, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, man, it's definitely been a quite a ride, because like, again, before the podcast, right, and before YouTube and that, obviously the big bad thing happened, or it's just started to happen, and that's why, because since I was at home so much, that's why I was doing like YouTube and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's so crazy that our paths crossed. Think about it.
For sure.
If things didn't go down like they did, then we wouldn't know each other. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's quite like, not, yeah, it's quite scary, I think, actually, that like how things, like, there's so many different timelines, right? So even if I didn't like do YouTube, I wouldn't know you. Or if I didn't, because the way that me and Jason first were properly introduced to each other is I think I left a comment on your video, didn't I?
You did.
Your top 5 Black Ops 4 perks, I think it was. Yes, and that video went on to do quite well.
One of my best videos on the channel in terms of views, 100%.
Go make more Black Ops 4 top 5s.
Man, there was that period of time on my channel, for whatever reason, that the Black Ops 4 rankings and top 5s did really, really well on my channel. And I'm super thankful for that, because this was like months after Black Ops 4's life cycle, and people were already like, it was kind of like people were sick of it.
Yeah.
So it was very shocking to me that the videos did that well. And thank you. Thank you for that.
I think, like, with zombies, let's see like what my most viewed zombie video is, because like when I did my like multi reviews, that's when my channel started doing like well. Like,
those review videos were cool. Those were cool.
Like, in terms, like, in general game reviews, that's like even why I started that as your channel, just because I wanted to see how they do when I had a certain audience coming for everything. But
I remember what you were talking about, like the way we met, and you left a comment on the video, and from there we just started like commenting on each other's videos, and it happened at such a perfect time too.
Yeah, because Cold War was around the corner in terms of getting announced, wasn't it?
Yeah, Cold War was right around the corner. And it was also at the time too where I had decided, you know what, I need to start collaborating more.
Yeah.
And it was right at that time where I was like, I need to like branch out and like talk to more people in the community. And it was just the stars aligned there to be like, oh yeah, here's a creator, and let's talk to this guy. Let's see what he's about. And then eventually, we made videos together, and it was you who originally
pitched the idea.
Said, hey, you want to start a podcast? I was like, man, I don't know. Sure, let's try something new. I don't know much about it. I don't know much about podcasting, but I mean, we just sit there and talk, right? And then now look
Yeah.
where we are.
I know. Again, so many crazy things have happened from that one YouTube comment. Imagine if the algorithm didn't recommend me your video.
Damn.
You know, like there's so many other factors as well. From that one comment, you know, we've had all these great guests on. We've, you know, had all these great charity events and
the butterfly effect.
Yeah, in general, like in terms of zombies content, I know Cold War was not so frowned upon because I know we both enjoyed it for what it was and we appreciated the game because it is a really good game. But like, I think in a way, it gave. Again, I said this like a while back, when Cold War was just out. You know how we have the good old days.
Yeah.
Cold War, for us, was the good old days. But we were living in it
for like the content creation side of it, right?
Yeah, like because like there's so much to talk about, and if I go to like my old videos I had on my channel, for like zombies content, I have like how to make points in Black Ops Cold War Zombies, and that has 2K views. How to get the high round on
What's so funny about that is like, yeah, there was so much to talk about and there was so much to do. It's like you could make so many videos, and we've seen from Cold War too. We've also seen the emergence of other content creators that are now in the community that are big. I mean, shoot, Lego Unlocked is one of them that comes to mind. DK Dynamite exploded during Cold War. I mean,
he did, yes.
You know, he was already, you know, doing his thing during Black Ops 4 and Modern Warfare and all that, but like I feel like DK really got a huge boost in Black Ops Cold War, which you know, I'm so happy for the guy. You know, now knowing him, and like he's been on the podcast multiple times too. And by the way, DK got invited to the Call of Duty Next event, which congratulations, man. I mean, you fucking earned it, bro. You really earned it. So that's really exciting to see that like Black Ops Cold War was like such a big catalyst for so many of these creators out there too. And you know, and because there were so many things to talk about, the podcast also had a lot of good moments in it too, talking about Black Ops Cold War. And then it just one thing led to another, and then this thing happened over here. And like, man, if this podcast never happened, I would never have gone to ZWC.
Look at it that way, right?
I would never have gone to ZWC at all, because I mean, it was, we had the ZWC crew on the podcast January of that year, months before the event was happening, to like preview the event, which was kind of crazy at the time, actually, because we were the first people to like break any kind of news.
Oh yeah, we were. And then
and it was like,
I remember we were in a few Lex videos as well and stuff, because he was reacting to stuff.
I remember that.
And even seeing that was cool. Like, I don't know, man. Again, the butterfly effect, right? Like it.
Yeah, man.
It definitely worked in our favor for a lot of things. And
yeah, I mean, you know, I think, you know, we're not the biggest. You know, we don't have millions of subscribers right now. We don't, you know, but I'm just really proud of us. You know, there's just. And now, obviously, we have things on the Division Z specific channel, and like, it's just great. It's very accomplishing knowing that, you know, we're doing something different. We're doing something a little bit different here.
Yeah, I think it's also worth pointing out as well for things we did in the past. Where, remember when we would have you live stream to Twitch, I live stream to my YouTube channel, then you would re-upload, you'd upload your Twitch stream to your YouTube channel. And I don't know why, like, you know, looking back on it, not so much work that we didn't need to kind of do, if you get what I mean, because we were like dividing the viewer base so much.
Because our mindset back then was, you know, oh, more views everywhere and more people are watching on different platforms, different channels, so that means more reach. And it's like, well, no,
not really, because we were just uploading the same
nothing
content.
Was really consolidated.
But then if you have all the content coming from one place, if everyone truly wants to watch the podcast, they'll go there. So yeah. I think that's one of the like, in terms of like things we should have done earlier, that's one of like the main things we should have done earlier. But I'm glad we've done it now. And
hindsight is 2020, man, but we're here right now doing it on the main Division Z channel.
How long we've had this channel for, actually? Let's have a look.
I believe, made this particular channel right after ZWC.
Yeah, so the channel's a year old.
Yeah, the Division Z channel itself is just over a year old.
And then I'm actually looking back on some episodes now. We had what's it? That around the time of creating this channel was when Murder Toten was kind of coming out, and then
because the first episode, the first Division Z podcast episode that was on this channel was the one we had with MC Sports Talk.
Yes, it was. It was
good old Matt, man.
We had a short before that in terms of what actually came out.
True.
The Jason Blundell short, which was very cool. And I mean, yeah, and then actually looking at a channel early on, like we had MC on, we had Kingman on, we had DK on, we had Greg on, we had Tim on. We had all these guests in like a period of like 2 months.
Yeah.
Who else did we have? Did we have anyone here? And then we had Dave Boat on, obviously, and that happened. And yeah, man, I mean, like, it's crazy to think how fast time goes.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those episodes feel like they were yesterday. Like,
yeah,
you mentioned the Dave Boat episode again. That one feels like we just did that one. Still,
yeah,
like it's crazy that that's coming up on a year now in October, and it's like, how? What the hell?
I know it's weird. Man. It's weird. Not weird in like a bad way. Just weird,
no, it's weird in a fun way for sure.
Like time goes by so fast. Just having a little reflect back on these episodes as well. Like,
yeah,
from what you can remember, just us being us. What was your favorite memory, if you have any to mind? Because I know so much has happened on the podcast, right? Like so much has. So like, I wouldn't blame you if you couldn't think of like one in particular event.
Man, I gotta say, when it comes to like favorite moments, I this might not be a specific answer, but I think my favorite moments that happen on this podcast is when like we're able to just talk and have this like no filter, basically, about Call of Duty and about you know, life, the community and life, and exactly, like those are some of my favorite moments where we don't necessarily have a filter, particularly when it comes to this podcast in a roundabout way. Now obviously, you know, the filter in itself would be like we're more gaming entertainment focused, right? But you know, there are those times where it's like, you know, we'll talk about other things that pertain to the community and like Call of Duty and things like that, and you know, having those like bigger conversations that go past the game and go past that to like talk about like a philosophical point of the game or like some sort of psychological point of the game. I think those are some of my favorite moments just overall across the episodes that we've had, you know, talking about how the community reacts to things, talking about, you know, why certain things in the games are as important as they are. And those are some of my favorite moments for sure. How about you, man?
I think like I think I have to agree with that, first of all, right? When we kind of dive off from like even like gaming stuff and we talk about like other stuff. I remember a conversation we had, and it was about like space and stuff, and we talked about it for like 20 minutes, like in deep space and like how big is the universe and stuff, and like time travel. And after I was like, oh fuck, man, like geez, like
the existential crisis kicks in.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we really are just like dots, you know, among thousands of billions of dots. But I heard a great quote, right? I don't know. Have you ever watched the Big Les show?
No, I don't think I have.
It's like an animated show on YouTube that's been going on for like 10 years, right? It's just these Australian guys having a good time. And one of their recent spin-offs, there's a character called Sassy the Sasquatch, and he says, no matter. Let me find the exact quote because it's a really good quote.
I mean, that's the whole thing, right? Like we're such a you know, it might sound like we're insignificant in the sense of like the universe and where we are and where we are located and how we exist, because we're just one planet in the middle of everything. But I think that's what makes us even more unique. Like we exist for a reason. We exist as human beings with consciousness and subconsciousness for a reason. For a lot of you people out there, right, they would quote Carl Sagan, the pale blue dot, right? And it's like, yeah, I mean, we are a dot in space, but that makes us even more unique as like, man, there is a reason. There is a reason for everything. We are molecules, but we're not just molecules. We are more than just our carbon and our nitrogen and our oxygen.
We play COD Zombies. We play COD Zombies.
Oh,
we are more than just meat. We play COD Zombies, ladies and gentlemen, and that is what gives us purpose. So, yes,
there you go.
But no, I love them moments of the podcast where we spiral off and talk about other stuff. Trying to think of one memory in particular, like, because there's been a few times when the effect. Okay. Not that they've ever reached episodes, right? So we won't go into detail to any certain events. But I quite like when we're just talking, right? We're just talking, and then someone says something, right? And we both just burst out laughing, and we're like, we have to cut that bit out.
We cut that one out.
We cut out that, and that's so. I think you're thinking of the exact moment I'm thinking of, right? And
there's a couple. There's a couple
moments like that no one's ever seen that I look back on and think that was funny. Yeah. But again, since we're trying to keep the podcast focused on gaming and stuff, and not like other like other stuff we'll say, right? We choose to cut that out because we don't want that, kind of like in a way representing what we kind of.
Yeah, no, I mean,
even if we're joking, right? Like it's you know what I mean. So that's why
here's the thing. There's a time and a place for everything.
Exactly,
and
right. Yeah.
I think certain moments that have been cut out are for a different time and for a different place. That might not be appropriate for a gaming podcast. It might be either super controversial of a topic or something super like a joke, right? But people out there don't have a sense of humor anymore.
We all know that you're not allowed to have fun.
Oh, dude, if you have fun and you have an opinion on the internet, you're not allowed to do that.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, like you're saying, time and place for certain jokes here and there, right? Yeah. As long so that's why there's certain moments that we choose to cut out, even though those are probably some of the funniest.
Hey,
on air, I'm trying to think, because there is just so much. Let me quickly go through the episodes real quick, and I'll see if there's anything at all. I just quickly scroll through them. I mean, I think the first episode has a lot of charm to it in terms of favorite moments. I think the first episode definitely set us up for what we're gonna do, and I in general I like that first episode. In general, right? I think that's a pretty.
It's a good little starting point.
I have another moment. My camera or my light would randomly turn off, and then it'd be like I was in the dark ether. And that's the only thing we talk about. That's another funny moment.
Those are fun. Those are funny.
Those are funny. So, yeah, but in terms of moments, I would say that they are probably like it. A bit in general, I always have a good time in the podcast, just like you. It's something that I do because I enjoy doing it. So always, if anything, there are highlights. So yeah, no, I yeah.
Agreed, man. I mean, it's just sitting down every week, almost. Sometimes we skip a week or two, but sitting down, having a fun time, just recording the podcast, talking, giving our thoughts about the game, talking about just crazy stuff. Because I mean, at the end of the day, this is all crazy stuff that we talk about, right? And man, it's just great. It's just great that we were able to be here, and I'm glad that I was able to start this with you. You're definitely a good friend of mine, and I'm really happy that I was able to meet you and collaborate and It's wild what happens over the internet, and how we're able to like form a friendship because of that. And that's something I'm definitely very thankful for.
Definitely. And like I said earlier, it's so crazy how none of this could have happened just because of the slight change of events. Even I just like, if I didn't decide to upload that first video, maybe like I'm not going to do YouTube. So in general, like again, it's been great to like work with you. And it sounds like we're quitting the podcast, but we're not. There'll be 100 more episodes.
No, we're reflecting. We're reflecting.
We're reflecting, right? Like so I mean, like again, I consider you one of my close friends as well, because we're both passionate about the same thing, right? So we have lots to talk about, and like we just naturally get along. Like, I don't think our personalities conflict. And I think like if the podcast was done with anyone else, like either you or someone else or me or someone else, I definitely don't think it would be as consistent as it has been, or as like set in stone as it's been, because you get, and this is no shade to anyone, but you get a few people that decide to start a podcast and they do one episode and a second episode, and then that's it. It never comes back. But
sometimes,
but I think like having like each other there to do the podcast, it's like it just works really well. So I'm thankful for you being in my life. It's a shame that we haven't met in real life yet. We will do so.
We have to. I mean, we have to. It's just.
I think if there's ever like an opportunity to go to like a COD event, it's inside my passport, and I have like money kind of like, I can use.
If they like, let people go to COD next, like the general public, like sure you have the content creators like playing the game early and whatever, right? But if they do what they did like in Black Ops 4 with like an amphitheater of people watching like trailers and stuff, and they let the general public like go and do that, that'd be fucking cool to do. And like that'd be a cool place to be, shit.
It would be and man, it would be really cool.
For sure.
The one downside is obviously I'm in the UK, so that's not like you know what I mean.
It would be quite expensive for either of us to go to either of where we live. So
it's not like we can fast travel, obviously, so that doesn't really work.
What? You can't fast travel in real life? Oh my god, video games lied to me.
You can't use what's a good comparison?
Like a waypoint.
you can't use a COD Zombie reference. The
Ether portals.
You can't use an Ether portal. You can't get an exfil to
teleport to the fucking outbreak region. The Scotland outbreak region with a zombie Loch Ness monster.
You can't do that, unfortunately. So
damn.
But no, like in general, it's been such a good ride. The podcast. And
it has.
It's definitely formed a very strong friendship between us without sounding too corny. And in general, it's done so much for us individually as well. Because I think even having the chance to like talk back and forth with someone online, it's definitely given me more confidence to like do videos and stuff, and like even meeting bigger people and stuff in the community. That's given me more confidence because it builds on top of that. So I think in general, like it's been good for everyone involved. I think obviously we have to thank the guys for watching as well, because you guys are the reason we do it, and that's why the reason we started the podcast was to get community members, small and large, in the podcast. Like that's why, and I think going forward we should do more of that, along with the more events and stuff. So maybe we'll set something up to make it easier for people to like sign on to come on the podcast.
There's a lot of possibilities. I think there's still so many people out there, big and small, that we want to get on the podcast. Yeah. And there's so many people out there that I think would be great to have on. And, there's definitely a lot of things to think about, I think, when it comes to the next 100 episodes and how we can try to grow and try to push ourselves to do more. But yeah, man. This was fun sitting and reflecting with you about everything that's happened. Now,
definitely.
Before we end off this episode of the podcast, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the actual news that we had this week for Call of Duty. But, we have the Modern Warfare 2 gameplay from Farm 18, one of the new multiplayer maps. They're going behind the scenes. They're showing us stuff there.
Which is cool. I
That's
appreciate
pretty
that they're
cool.
doing that. I hope, and they're doing it forward of all the maps, are they? I think. Or
Maybe all the maps, but like
maybe it's probably not. Maybe
definitely
like
a good chunk of maps, I think, because it's part of a whole thing they're calling intel drops, and they're going
intel drops.
Gonna get the intel on Modern Warfare 2 there with the specific maps and how they make the game, which is really cool, and I appreciate that about the marketing of Modern Warfare 2. Now we're getting something. Now we can actually form our opinions about what we think the game might be like. Whereas before there wasn't really a lot. So yeah, there's that, which I think is pretty freaking cool. It'd be cool to get a developer on to elaborate even further. What else happened this week? The Scythe in Black Ops Cold War, the long-awaited Scythe for Cold
that got
War
added in ages ago, but then they took it away, didn't they?
Yeah, so, it was about a month or two ago. They accidentally added the Scythe into the game, and then they took it out like an hour later. And so that's finally like officially out in the game now, which it's a cool melee weapon. It's kind of slow to swing, not really the greatest, not really the most efficient past like round 40. But you have a chance to kill up to 5 zombies at a time with one swing, which is pretty cool. But that's that for Cold War. The Terminator event in Warzone, Titanium Trials Endurance. That's a cool event with like different challenges. But what's not so cool is that you have to win the game mode 20 damn times to get like super secret camo. Not a huge fan of that. The game mode itself is basically like Iron Trials. Everyone has more health. But the only thing is, Tempered drops more frequently from the chest, and you have different like adjustments to the price and whatever. But yeah, man, quick little run through of all the news this week. The Scythe is cool. The Terminator event is all right. Warzone is very unstable though, as it currently stands. After they implemented the Titanium Trials into the game, because there's too much in the game, and the game can't handle it. And then the Modern Warfare 2 stuff, I'm really looking forward to that. Learning more about how they made the game. And we were talking about this before the podcast started, about how when they were covering Farm 18, they were like, yeah, we wanted to remove the foliage from all the corners of the map so people can't hide.
And here's the thing, right? Why do I imagine the game coming out and all that being there? Why do I picture that there, and then all the safe spaces and stuff? I don't know. To see. And I mean, this is just from a few competitive players as well, so don't let this set your opinion, because normally what happens, competitive players play the game and they're like, oh guys, this one's so good, it's so much fun, this is gonna be best COD in years, right? And then it's like the complete opposite. But a lot of the pro players are actually dissing Modern Warfare 2 and saying they don't want to play it because it's so boring. And I don't think that's... Here's the thing, right?
What was it? Hex said that? The owner of Optic. He was talking about how, all the Optic guys, Illy, Scump, Dashy, like they have Modern Warfare 2, like early versions of it, and they're just not, they don't want to play it.
I think it'll be like...
it's weird.
I think it'll be similar to Ghosts, maybe, where the launch of the game's like maybe isn't that strong, but when it's done and finished and all the maps are out, because the DLC maps will probably be better, I imagine, for some reason, it will be a really fun game, and people will be like, "Oh, why do people hate this game?" And then the cycle continues. Modern Warfare 2
is Ghosts 2.0?
Listen, well, they're adding Rourke back into the timeline, aren't they?
You know what? I did see the leak there. Spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah.
People out there, there's some leaks out there that Rourke from Ghost is going to be an operator for some reason.
Which is so weird.
I don't know if it's going to be for like Vanguard or something, right? Like a pre-order, but I don't know what the hell's going on with that. But Rourke is allegedly coming back. I don't know why.
I don't know. And people are like, oh, well, they can connect the timelines now and like the universes. And I was like, okay, well,
there ain't going to be any ghosts.
There ain't going to be any ghosts because we're going to destroy them together.
And then he drags you off, and there's no sequel to that story. Maybe there's a plot point in Modern Warfare 2 that tells us what happened after Ghosts. Who knows?
I'll tell you something, right, Phil? Obviously, have you seen the cutscene where he gets shot in the chest, the Magnum? The whole sequence where you're like,
right,
close the chamber, and then you're like, and he gets shot in the chest. That is the smoothest recovery I've seen from a bullet wound from a Magnum, nonetheless, to the chest.
Dude, yeah, right? Well, depends on the caliber, depends on the bullet too. What kind of ammo are we talking about here? What kind of revolver was it?
It was it was a Magnum, right? But like the range was like,
was it 44 Magnum?
Yeah, it was. That's the Magnum Ghost, right? But look at that range there. So I'm here, Rourke's here, and the gunshot's coming from here. It's like, oh, maybe it didn't gather enough speed. I don't know, something like that. Bullets gain speed, right?
Well, that's the thing is that shit's fired from the gun, right? If anything, it's gonna have the most velocity right there because as it travels, you have the certain feet per second with the kinds of ammo, right? So the ammo will eventually taper off.
So he survives that. He survives a very strong, and then he survives drowning. So he swam out of the water after having that bullet to the chest.
Just realize this guy's fucking invincible.
So he's managed that. And then he has enough strength to pull another grown-ass man across the beach. So
this guy's fucking Iron Man or something. Like
so
bullet wound. Drowning.
It only makes sense. The skin he comes with. They have to do some in-game adjustments to his character. He must be able to take a lot more damage. He must be able to have really corny lines.
Dude, now that would be a pay-to-win operator. This operator has more health than everybody else because he's invincible.
You know what they need to do? They need to do it so that he gets shot by a sniper, pretty much confirmed dead, and then the winner circle happens, and then you just see him come around and take one of the players. Like you would have been a hell of a win.
It's like it's like the Nikolai quote. Who are you, Rasputin? Die already! Goddamn.
I actually heard leaks, right? Since Rourke can take so much damage, Infinity Ward were going to make a zombies mode, but originally the zombies were going to be Rourke.
Oh, of course.
That was the idea.
Right, of
course. Come back from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to be called
Rourke of the Dead.
Rourke of the Dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you play as Rourke as well.
Yeah, man. And it takes place on all the extinction maps.
Yeah,
man. Of course.
I mean, in all seriousness, Extinction 2 would be very nice. Please.
Hey, man.
Lee Ross, we've seen the tweet. Release the gameplay.
The gameplay.
We know that you have gameplay if it's somewhere on a hard drive. You've said how long it is. Please release it. You've talked about the building mechanics. Please release it now. Please.
Might as well. I mean, hey, I don't know if there's some sort of
probably right.
Some kind of NDA. Well, not NDA because you can talk about it, right? But some sort of restriction.
Probably not going to release the early build off that game mode. Thing is, they're never going to bring it back, right? Unless they do some in-game event in Warzone for whatever reason. But I don't imagine it will ever
Extinction
come back.
Warzone event. That would be something,
right? I don't think it will ever come back just because the profits and that, and the fact that it didn't make a lot of money in general.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I think it goes Zombies, Extinction. And I put Extinction above certain zombie game modes, 100%. I put it above World at War, obviously, right? Just because World at War is a broken mess. Obviously, above Exo, above every non-Treyarch, and I would put it above Infinite Warfare Zombies as well, right?
Wow.
And then I think maybe I would for Black Ops 4, I would put it above again, just because it handled its gameplay so much better, in my opinion, in terms of Black Ops 4. Even though Black Ops 4 overall has better content, I think I prefer Extinction to it. But that's just my opinion. That's just my hot take.
Wow.
There we go.
Twitter's going to have a field day with you now.
I know. He has a bad opinion. Report him. Report him.
Report. God damn, bro. But, hey, why not? Why not? That's what you think. And, I don't know. Like I said before, I haven't played enough Extinction to actually agree or disagree. So hey, maybe you're right, maybe you're not. I don't know. I still have to play. I still have to go back and revisit Extinction.
Yes.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this was a fun episode of the podcast to record. Covered a little bit of news there at the end, and of course, we reflected on the first 100 episodes of this crazy thing we call the Division Z podcast.
Yes.
And what you have any final thoughts before we end off episode 100?
Just thank everyone for watching, and let there be 100 more. Let there be 100 more.
100%, man. Here's to the next 100 episodes. And, thank you everybody so much for watching the podcast. It means the world to us. And we're going to do the best we can to provide more value and to, try to keep things afloat, even in these troublesome times. So yeah, it means a lot. The support means a lot. And we're going to keep moving forward. But what was your guys' favorite part of episode 100? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. And with that said, thank you again for watching. If you did enjoy and you haven't already, check out the links down below in the description so you stay up to date with everything that we do. Kyle's channel, my channel, the Division Z stuff, the Twitter, the Discord server, if you want to be notified when episodes go live on the channel and everything like that. And yeah, man. Peace out, everybody. We'll see you in episode 101.
Bye, everyone.